Hello, my friends, and thank you so much for being here again today. Today, I want to talk about boundaries, the boundaries we set for ourselves as we engage with and navigate the world around us. The reason I want to talk to you about this today is because I've been hearing a lot of boundary infringements or violations going on lately when I speak to my clients or friends. And I get it. Sometimes it can be really hard to maintain our personal boundaries, especially when we're dealing with a lot going on in our lives. But when things are really busy in our lives and chaotic, this is when it's especially important and actually critical to adhere to our personal boundaries. I also think that sometimes we get a bit confused on how boundaries are meant to be set in order to best serve us and best serve the world. Personal boundaries can be defined as limits, principles, and standards we set for ourselves within relationships, including the relationship we have with ourselves, and maybe most importantly, the relationship we have with ourselves. So it's about setting healthy boundaries. It's about setting them consciously and with intention. It's about setting them from a heart-centered energy of love. Because I know how you are. You want to give and help and support and provide a listening ear and work overtime on that important project and stay in touch with your friends and get that workout in and. But what happens when you give to others without creating or adhering to your boundaries? I know what happens. I know because I used to do this a lot. I do this by filling up my calendar with visits with friends, volunteer activities, social dinners, workouts, work-related events, even quote unquote self-care activities like massages or a pedicure. Because I had a hard time saying no, and because I didn't want to let anyone down, my calendar would get filled up to the point where I'd start feeling overwhelmed, obligated, resentful, not fully present, not giving my best, exhausted, unhappy, unfulfilled. I would start looking for excuses not to do a scheduled activity or a way out, which meant I canceled on people a lot, which I really disliked because it meant going back on my word, which in turn felt really incongruent with who I wanted to be. In short, I was breaking my own boundaries. Or truthfully, at some point I realized I had never created any boundaries to begin with at all. At some point I realized that I was showing up in a resentful or guilty energy. My overwhelm led to feeling resentful about the activity, anxiousness about my week, which led to sleeplessness, sarcastic comments, yuck, and even the occasional angry outburst, double yuck. At my worst, I would lash out at those that I loved the most. To this day, this is still a sign for me that I've overcommitted and that it's time to slow down, reassess, and reset my boundaries. How do you know if you're giving of yourself too much and are breaking your boundaries? This is how it can sound. I'm fine. I've done it before, I can do it again. I don't need help. I just need to dig deep and push through. It will die down soon. This is my responsibility. My friends, kids, team, spouse are relying on me. If I don't do this, then nobody will. I'll rest later. This is not the time to show weakness. Do you hear yourself in any of these statements? If you do, then you are not creating or adhering to personal boundaries, and the outcomes or results are not awesome. These can include insomnia, resentment, low energy, anxiety, overwhelm, passive aggressiveness, guilt tripping, fight picking, burnout, making mistakes, making bad decisions, unhealthy eating, skipping workouts, anger, negative self-talk, decreased confidence, guilt, shame, comparison. Are you having a visceral reaction to these words? Me too. These are not outcomes you want. These are results that do not serve you, nor do they serve the very people that you are wanting to give your energy to. These are outcomes that do not serve the world. And as I've said before, the world needs your love and your positive energy and your care and your support. And this can only be accomplished by creating and adhering to personal boundaries. So how? First and foremost, set your personal boundaries from a place of love. First, love towards yourself, and then love to the external world. Take the time to figure out what your boundaries are. Do this in a quiet or calm space when you feel quiet and calm. Ask yourself, what boundaries would serve me best right now? You have the answer within you, so listen to yourself and trust what your intuition is telling you. Set your boundaries from a place of love, not hostility, not out of obligation, not out of frustration, and definitely not from a place of selfishness. Remember, boundaries flow both ways. They're not just for you, but also they're for the people around you. Be intentional with how the boundary is serving yourself and others. Are you setting the boundary so that you don't have to deal with others or get involved in an activity? Or are you setting it because it will give you more energy, more bandwidth, greater ease, increased patience, a sense of calm, or the ability to give back? Be clear on the intention behind each boundary. Boundaries are best when they're connected with your values or what's most important to you. Check your boundaries against your values. This may take some practice and trial and error. Just because you set a boundary doesn't mean you can't change it later on. If the boundary starts feeling awkward or incongruent in real life situations, it could mean it doesn't quite align with your values. Lastly, communicate your boundaries in a way that feels right for you, and again, from an energy of love. Communicate your boundaries in a loving way and from the heart. If it comes from the heart, it will be received by the heart in the other person. I hope this has clarified the importance of personal boundaries and also given you some ideas on how to set boundaries in a way that is loving for both you and for the people in your life. Remember, setting intentional, value-driven, heart-centered boundaries is an act of love that will help you be more present and giving in your relationships and allow you the ability for more energy, more time, better sleep, and more love. Boundaries are a major theme that come up over and over again with my coaching clients, almost in every session, because boundaries can be challenging to set and stick to, especially for those of us who want to help others and not let anyone down. This is the beauty of coaching, that you can bring up things that are going on in your life on a weekly basis, practically in real time, and get coached on them, work through them, and start new ways of being and doing immediately. If that sounds like something you need, I invite you to connect with me and book a discovery call today. I'm wishing you all a really wonderful day, and thank you for being here, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.